Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math with Miss Sabrine. In this video, we are going to express logarithms and write it in terms of other variables. Now, what does it mean? Let's say you have p equals to log of 5 to a base of a and q equals to log of 2 with a base of to a base of a. How can we express the following terms and write it in terms of p and or q? The first term that we have is log of 10 to a base of a. 10 is easy to break. You can just write 5 times 2 instead of 10. So for this expression, this also equals to log of 5 plus log of 2. Because when you add two terms with the same base, you actually multiply. So this equals to log of 10 to a base of a. Now we already know that log 5 to a base of a equals to p according to the question, so I can just write p instead of that. And then log of 2 to a base of a gives us q according to the question. So this equals to p plus q. This is how you write a logarithmic expression in terms of other variables. Let's look at the next one. We have log of 8 to a base of a. Now we can't use 5 for this, so I'm just going to use log of 2. It's easy to express 8 and write it in terms of 2 because we know 2 to the power of 3 gives us 8 as well. Now according to the rule of log, if you have a power, you can actually move it to the front. So we have 3 log 2 to a base of a. We already know log of 2 equals to q, so we can just write this equals to 3 times this thing is q, 3 times q. That is your answer. For C, log of a base a 2.5. What to do with this? 2.5, you can break it down into 5 over 2. So we can write log of 5a minus log of 2 to a base of a. This is the same thing as 2.5 because when you subtract two logarithmic expressions with the same base, you actually divide. This equals to 5 over 2, which is 2.5. Now we already know log of 5 to a base of a is p and log of 2 to a base of a is q. So this equals to p minus q. That's all for question 1. Let's move to number 2. If ln of a equals to p and ln of b equals to q, write the following expressions in terms of p and q. Similar idea. So the first term that we have is a to the power of 3 times b. How can we change? Oh, sorry, I missed the ln. Okay, you have one ln in front of this expression. So we have to break this down. I know a equals to p, b, a equals to p, and ln of b equals to q. That means I need to separate a and b. I can rewrite this expression as ln of a to the power of 3 plus ln of b. Like I explained before, if you have a power, you can actually move it to the front. This will give you 3 ln a plus ln b. And we know, according to the question, ln of a is p. I can just write p instead of this thing. So it's 3 times p, giving us 3p plus ln of b is just q. This is how we can write ln of a to the power of 3, b equals to this thing. Next term is a little bit different. Square root of a over b. Okay, that means I need to separate the a and b again. So this equals to, because this is in the form of ln a over b, I can write this also equals to ln a minus ln of b. Now, whenever you have a square root, that means the power of this is half. So this means ln a, the power of this is half. You can just write half minus ln of b. According to the rule, if you have a power, you can move it to the front. So this will give us half ln a minus ln of b. We know ln of a equals to p, giving us half p minus ln of b is q. So this equals to half p minus q. That's your answer for number 2. Let's move to the last question. Number 3, last question for the day. P equals to log of x to a base of 10, q equals to log of y, r equals to log of z. We have to write this expression, this thing, in terms of p, q, r. That means I need to separate x, y, and z, and then you can express it in these variables. Let's start. Log of, let me just write it down, x, y square root of z. The base is 10. Okay, first of all, this is in the form of a over b, so I can separate those two terms first. Log of 10 x minus log of y square and then square root of z. But then we need to separate this as well because the terms are separate, like y and z, they mean other things. That means I need to separate this variable. This expression. You can't do anything with x because it has already been simplified. I'm just going to write log of x to a base of 10 minus, now don't forget to use a parenthesis for this because the sign will change when you remove this. Now instead of this, it's just in the form of log ab, that equals to log of a plus log of b. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this and write it as log of y square plus log of z square root. Okay, now the reason I asked you to put a negative sign in front, because when you open the bracket, this is going to be log of y square minus negative and positive. If you multiply, you will get negative value. So negative log of square root of z. Now we can separate the powers so that we can move it to the front. We have 2 over here. We can move it to the front. This will give us 2 log of y. And like I told you before, the power of a square root is half. That means you can move it to the front and this will give you half log of z. 10 to log x is p and log of y is q. This means so it will be 2q minus half is just half and log z is r. So this is your answer for this question. Now note that I stopped writing the base after a certain period of time, but it really doesn't matter because when you don't write anything, it just means the base is 10. Okay, so that will be all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.